I'm super happy to be here. I'm super impressed as well, to be honest. My name is Sherina. I'm VP Performance Marketing at Deezer. For those who don't know us, Deezer is a music streaming service based in Paris. And the biggest challenge I've been working on for the past 3 years now is to bring Deezer to profitability and, more importantly, to profitable growth. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is how innovation fuels long-term success. And I wanted to open this short speech with a quote from Thomas Edison, who is a famous American inventor who founded General Electric, and who said, I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And that sums up very well my mindset. So the roadmap for today, we will talk briefly about how to test, experiment, and fail. I'll explain why data matters, how performance, sadly, is not enough, and I'll finish with a little anecdote about how SEO can sometimes be underrated. So this is a picture of where we started. What you see on the graph here is our B2C acquisition trend that we had from 2022 to 2023. And as you can see, the growth is not very fast, right? It's not very satisfying. This is not the type of trend that you want to see when you are in charge of acquisition. And the reason behind that was that, as I mentioned, we were progressing towards profitability. So it was, and it still is, a company effort where we do cut costs, we close some free service that is not profitable, we increase prices. So obviously it's harder and harder to grow at a fast pace because of this constraint. And so the main question that I had to think of was, how do we build sustainable success? And the first element of answers that came to my mind was innovation, right? Innovation is actually the real growth engine. We cannot keep doing like all of our competitors and hope that it's going to go for the best. So let's be clear, innovating is not optimizing. Optimizing, you take the existing, you iterate, you improve, and it works well, but it's not innovating. Innovating is really about breaking the mold, start fresh, and think out of the box. So when I started on this mission, I identified 3 main ingredients to innovation. And the first one is really job expertise. And I cannot insist enough on this one. Job expertise, for instance, when it comes to UA, it's about knowing everything about your channel, what's the audience, what are the trends, what are the bidding strategies, the attribution windows, the way data is collected. You have to know everything about it. You have basically to know what you're doing if you want to innovate. The 2 other ingredients, freedom and trust, they're basically allowing yourself and your team to fail. So it's much more about asking for forgiveness rather than permission. And when you mix those 3 ingredients together, then magic can happen. And in my team, so I'm not talking about the whole company here, I'm only talking about the performance marketing team at Deezer. So it includes a paid and organic acquisition and also performance analytics. We run throughout the year 82 tests. So that's pretty huge. And out of these 82 tests, 1/3 failed. And that's actually quite a good ratio. I was expecting more than that in terms of failure. And what we got in the end was that, as you can imagine, wins always exceed fails. And we went back growing at a fast pace, and we even ended last year with a plus 36% year-on-year growth. So it's not the same numbers as you saw for flows, but we've been existing for the past 15 years. So for it, it's pretty huge to manage, in this context of profitability, to keep growing at this pace. Obviously, this could not have been possible if we were not super data-driven. So that's the next part of what I wanted to talk to you today is, so the other main question that I had was really, how do I grow the analytics skills of my team? And I hate to break it to some of you, maybe, but being analytics, it's not just watching dashboards on a daily basis. It goes beyond that, because if you just look at your dashboard and at the data that you have, well, actually, you don't really understand what you're looking at in the current context, and I guess that you'll have plenty of info about it throughout the day, but the data is flawed, the data is biased, so you have to understand what's all the technicalities that are behind your data collection, even though you are focused on UA or on ASO. You have to understand basically all the constraints around your data and how it is flowed. So what we did with the team, and what we're still doing, is sitting down on the effectiveness triangle that I guess most of you know already. It was presented by Google in 2019, so it's really about how you make the best marketing decisions using attribution, experiments, and marketing mix model. And we took each of these three pillars and tried to figure out how we could improve them. So if we start with attribution, we moved from last click to a data-driven multi-touch attribution model, thanks to the huge job of the data team at Deezer. So it's a model basically that is compensating and curating the bias of the last click attribution as much as possible. It's still flawed, right? But it's better than just last click attribution. Then on experiments, I'm going to spend a bit more time on that. So when I talk about experiments, I really talk about incrementality testing. And for those in the room who are not very familiar, the explanation is actually quite simple. It's about taking a control group on which you expose, that you expose to no ad, and you compare it to the group that is exposed to ads. You calculate the gap, and it's basically your increment. So it's quite pure aggregated data because it goes beyond privacy constraints. It goes beyond iOS ATT. So to do so, you have different methodologies. So you can use GeoLift, conversion lift, brand lift. You can use causality test as well. And so we sat down with the team once again, and we listed all the business questions that we had about what we were doing. And we basically built a roadmap because you cannot run all this experiment at once, as you can imagine. And this is basically our learning agenda for the year. Today, I'm going to shed a little bit of light on one of the first tests that we ran. That basically is about understanding how a full funnel campaign can contribute to the performance of the bottom funnel. So here are the results. We ran the test on Meta, and we compared two different cells. So cell 2, it's performance only. And on cell 1, on top of performance campaign, we added branding campaign. So we multiplied the budget by 2.5. And what came out of it is that we got twice as many incremental conversions. And so it was actually very surprising and very positive for us because branding campaign, we know that they have long-term impact. We would not have guessed that they could have so much short-term impact. And that's a perfect transition to bring me to the $1 million question: how do you invest for long-term impact? So a word on that. On acquisition, what performs very well for us, has always performed very well, and probably will always perform very well, is really trial and promo offer. And with that, we really managed to drive like tremendous acquisition. How? So here you have French examples. It's really all about the offers, 3 months trial, €0, and so on. The problem with this approach is that it's super short term. We are not talking about our product, not about the benefits. We're not building our brand, and we're actually doing exactly the same as all of our competitors. So we are attracting opportunists, and we are giving them absolutely no reason not to go to any other music streaming service. It makes us super easy to replace. And what's more to that is that I'm not the only one talking about brand building. It's basically what all the market research companies have been saying as well. So here I took an example. So it's a public study that you can easily find on the internet from Kantar, who tried to evaluate the profitability multiplier by driver. And what they found out is that the size of the brand is actually a multiplier of your ROI potentially by 18. On the other hand, so brand versus product versus season, I don't know why they called it that way, but basically if you look at the definition, it's your choice of a KPI for your campaign. So is it a brand campaign or a performance campaign? The multiplier is almost a 2, no, barely a 2. So it also gave me a lot of thinking of, okay, the time that we can spend to think about the budget mix and how much we should bring to brand and how much we should give to performance, when actually it's not that big game changer. It's really the size of your brand that matters. So based on that, I put the bar a little higher for my team. And I asked them not only to drive performance, which they do very well, but on top of it, to contribute to brand building at the same time and make sure that our performance budget actually contributes to brand building. What that came out with, and I hope the videos will work, they came out with amazing initiatives. So this first one is basically about taking social media memes and adding them on top of our static assets. Like the second one, they perform like crazy, really, really. And we're also working with micro-influencers, and we brief them to reinforce our quirky image. And the beauty of these 3 ads is that it does not only build our brand, but it also performs. So it drives an excellent ROI. So kudos to the team, really. Okay, I cannot leave you today without talking about user journeys. It's really a big topic at Deezer. It's something that we've been working on very closely with the product and tech team, with a great collaboration on this one. And it's been years that we've been working on improving our user journeys. And last year, it was complicated to improve. So maybe we iterated so much that it's hard to make the needle move. So for instance, we tested promo headers, no winner. We tested to change the redirect from the Google Listen actions that used to redirect the user to our mobile website. We tested redirecting to the store pages, and we dramatically lost 76% conversions. So obviously, we ended the test very, very quickly, and we rolled it back. And a little out of nowhere, in the midst of these difficulties, we had the SEO team come to product and tech asking to improve the website speed. That was the initial goal. Number 1 goal was to rank higher in Google's search results, because that's one of an element that's taken into account by Google. So the product and tech team, again, did a great job. They improved the loading time by 0.5 seconds. So it looks like nothing, but actually it makes a lot of difference. And what we realized afterwards is that by doing so, we had improved our conversion rate from +6 to +10%. So pretty huge and very good surprise here. So that makes me say that, yes, SEO is sometimes underrated, and no, SEO is definitely not dead. Okay, so if we sum up, in 4 points, I would say allow yourself to fail, make sure you and your team are truly data-driven, invest in your brand, and never underestimate the power of user journeys. Thank you very much for your attention.